but I've also gone by Otagomi, and I used to run a record label called Moe Def. We worked with, when I was in the record label, we worked with groups from Japan to import Japanese music over here to America. Unfortunately, a lot of that music doesn't exist anymore. There were a bunch of groups that, as these groups die, they just don't want their music out there anymore, so you can't get it. They take it off the internet. C'est la vie. However, one group in particular that we once worked with was Necronominal. And when Necronominal let us work with them, we released a cassette tape, which you can't get anymore. They don't want that out there. But it created a community on the internet where people came together to talk about Idol in a different sense, because up until this point, Idol was really just AKB48, and that's all people knew. You may have had fans of Idolmaster, but largely, if it wasn't that, nobody cared.
Yeah, this is pre-Love Live era.
I mean,
3D items.
yeah.
We're talking about 3D items, not 2D items.
Now, with that said, Idol's been around for a really long time, since about the 70s. Back then, you had groups that actually morphed into the groups that are major today, because of course everyone has to start somewhere. And you had groups that were called Anyanko Club. You had Yukiko Okada. Yeah, and they were just radio pop. It was just a way to sell music to mass audiences. But along the way, there was this realization that music doesn't sell, the people do. And so you saw this shift from, hey, we need to release radio singles, to, hey, we need to monetize these girls that are willing to come up and sing for us. And at times it was definitely problematic monetization, and at times it wasn't. So, you know, there's plenty to go into with that. But what's important is it was more about the person and not the music. That is when Japan as a whole kind of realized that its music was its own realm and its own sort of industry. You know, that means so many broad, vast things. Who cares? What we care about is the fact that this music is fun, and that's it. Anyway, today I just want to talk about what is chika, why I like chika, why I think you'll love chika, and just sort of why chika is chika, not necessarily why chika is idol, because I feel like a lot of people appreciate idol music for the wrong reasons, and it's a shame. Chika music is really just, again, like I said a little while ago, underground music.
So the main distinction, by the way, like in Japan, as to whether or not something is considered chika, is whether or not it has a major label. If you're on a major label, it doesn't matter how big you are, like you could still be playing like 50 people at like Shibuya Milky Way or something. But if you have a major label, you're no longer chika, like basically. That's like the main distinction within Japan.
And what's really crazy is it goes even a little bit further than that, and it even comes down to fan interaction sometimes, because there are even groups that exist in a weird gray area where they're definitely major. In fact, if anybody's interested, we have a bunch of CDs up here. Feel free to come get some. They are from a group, label, whatever you want to call it, called WAC.
A company called WAC, yeah.
And they have themselves teamed up with major labels, and so they're technically majors, but everyone still sort of accepts them as chika. And they still act like chika, and they still interact with their fans like chika, because at the core of this is the fan interaction. And so what I kind of want to talk about is what that means. what it means to be a community. We kind of lose sight a lot of the times about where music comes from. In fact, it's really cool today because I'm coming up here right after Amina Duji and Aminyon. She used to be a chika idol. And when she was in Japan, I've been following her for a really long time. She was very approachable, and she still is. You know, she has never lost sight of that. Granted, she's also never been signed to a major label, but she is still here and willing to talk to us and interact with us just like she did back then. With a lot of these idols, you see a lot of girls that just want to become popular and they want to make a lot of money. And, you know, yeah, sure, it's great to make money. That everybody needs to go out there and find a way to live, but why should I care about you if you're only out there making money, you know? Versus these girls right here, they're there to interact with us, and you can become friends with some of these people and, you know, have long-lasting relationships even after they quit doing idol music. I mean, do you personally have any friends that you can speak about too in this regard? And I do.
Ex-idol friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in particular, there's an underground idol group called Wagamama Kite. I was there, like I first saw them by accident because I was there to see a different group at like just a live, and I like really got, I decided I needed to take a check in with one of the members, whose name was Haruki, and she left the group, but like when she left the group, she was like, oh, I'm gonna start working at this cafe here, like here, search for this, whatever, told me where to find her. And so I started going to the cafe when I was living in Japan, and I just talked to her at the cafe and stuff, and then she was like, oh, I'm gonna stop working at this cafe and go to this bar or whatever. I'm like, okay, I go to the bar now. And but like I will say that like I kind of regret being all in on her when she was in Wagamaki, because I like later on after she quit the group, I took a break from the group for like about 5 months. And I came back to the group and like actually really loved the group for the group and not just for her. And I started to like all the members who were there before when she was in the group, and I was like, man, I missed out on so much. But I mean, I still talk to Haruhi these days too. I mean, nowadays she's just not really doing anything public, but I still talk to her.
So I also personally have friends that are within this industry. I am a photographer, and I love to do portrait work. And I have a lot of friends that, through my travels through Japan, I've met a lot of these idols, and I go and I take pictures of them, just personal portraits for them. And they stay in touch with me, and they still talk to me all the time, asking, when are you coming back to Japan? When are we going to go out drinking again? You know, and it's really special because, well, let's take AKB48 for example. If you're an AKB48 ota, you're going to go and maybe get 5 seconds of interaction with whoever your Hoshi is. Maybe I should back up a second. So, normally, I've done this panel a lot, and I've typically tried to have a lot of structure, and I've tried to sort of make it like a lecture on what Idol is, what it isn't, the do's and the don'ts. Honestly, a lot of people have told me that they like it because they just didn't know anything about this stuff, but it betrays sort of the nature of chika, because chika is so spontaneous and so in the moment. And you can go anywhere in Japan and just bring a speaker, set it down, and have a live. And, you know, that's chika. It's underground. You can't stop it. You don't have to plan it out.
Even a group as big as like Cyber was, they still did like street lives on vacation.
And the police would have to come shut them down. And
I remember I went to a street live. I don't even know. When was it? It was like pretty late in the Cyber, right? Like when they were doing like Akiba street lives?
It was leading up to TVCH in June 2019 that they were performing in front of Akihabara Station.
Yeah.
yeah, and they were handing out the flyers and everything.
Yeah.
But so today, I kind of just wanted to sort of emulate that same energy and just talk with y'all about this. And when I found out this whole convention was going on, I wasn't really sure what to expect, what the knowledge level of Idol in general is. And all it is to say, I don't want to sit here and lecture y'all on like what basic words are, definitions, what gachikoi is, or something
I
like
may
that.
or may not accidentally use some Japanese like otaku vocabulary because from living in Japan, it's just kind of become a habit. If there is anything that I say you don't understand, please just feel free to like raise your hand and ask me to clarify what that actually means.
There's a lot of words that just become so second nature. So if anybody has any questions, even about anything else that's going on, feel free to ask too.
What's a cheki? For those who don't know what a cheki is.
Oh, so a cheki, I have a couple with me. A cheki is like, is basically a Polaroid photo that you can generally take with Idol. The ones I have are only pin, they call them bin shots, which are like just of the Idol themselves. I mean, you can't really see it from this distance, but like, I mean, if you want to see it later, I'll just like kind of move around here.
So you can take a picture with an idol.
Yes.
That's possible.
Yes.
So
And it's basic. It's common practice in the underground idol world, at least, and even some major idol. Like, I mean, Bish is pretty big in Japan, and they're all. I mean, even in the West, they've gained a reasonable amount of traction. You might know Bish from doing songs for Black Clover, for instance. I think it was the second opening called Painted Black, which is a really awesome song, by the way. Like that was a song they did for an anime. I have this CD if you want it later. It has a song called Hide the Blue on it. That was for another anime. I forget the name of the anime. It was like 3D 20 or something like that.
I believe they even do a song for like McDonald's or something. They've done a lot of efforts.
Yeah. There's a Japanese drink called Kirin Lemon. They did a Kirin Lemon song, like for them. I think they did like a 7-Eleven commercial. They did a Round 1 commercial. Like,
I know the end even did she was on some Disney compilations.
yeah. Well, I mean, they were on the Sailor Moon like 25th anniversary like cover CD that like an official Sailor Moon CD. They did the song Moon Revenge, which was from the Sailor Moon R movie. Another really awesome song, by the way, and their version is a banger, a real banger.
Back to the whole spontaneity thing and being open to just experiencing music. Let's talk about 2D Idol, right? So with 2D Idol, it's interesting because we have this connection to 2D Idol where we can only watch the idol through anime. And every once in a while, you'll get a chance to go see the Seiyu come up and perform on stage out at one of the big arenas, whatever.
Yeah, like the Love Lives and stuff.
Right. And they always, the most that you get out of that spontaneity is mix, which for those of you who are or aren't aware of the, I guess the real life parts of the idol scene, mixing is a way to sort of interrupt the live and take a slice of it as your own.
I would say it's not really interrupting the live. It's more like it's more felt like within Japan, like an idol live. It's not just the idols who are performing. It's the fans are also part of the performance actively, and that's where like mixing started as a thing that with like 3 dudes from Sapporo who were AKB fans, and I want to say it was around 2010-ish era, maybe a little bit before that, and they just started going to lives for AKB and just shouting random things to kind of syncopate with the song. Or synchronize, but words are hard. But so they. That's like what we're talking about when like you say they like actively jump into the crowd sometimes. That's always a good time. What else? Okay, yeah. So you'll see like at one point the fans are kind of like splitting in a circle around one guy who's like kind of the quote unquote ringleader. Oh yeah, you can see him watching. I'm sure that's what you were pointing to. Yeah, this is the circle. And like they kind of like make both guys get to the middle of the circle. So like you beat it. The dance of the song is literally just like doing this. And I decided one time that like, because I'm going to Guitasto a lot, and I was like, you know what, this one live, I'm gonna start doing a thing where I do something ridiculously random and like whenever I get into the middle of the circle. Like whenever I'm the one who gets in the middle of the circle, I'll just do something ridiculous and random. And so I decided one time to do the buttocks beat beat dance in the middle of the circle. And everyone loved it so much that it inadvertently became my signature move. Like I accidentally ended up having buttocks beat beat as my signature move for this group. It's continued to the present day where like if I go see the former members of Ruchasto in their new groups, they might sometimes be like, we should do the buttocks beat beat pose again. Like for Czechies, because like that, it was what I was known. It was one of the things I was known for with that group.
Well, I want to talk about that real quick. Czechy. So
and it's really depressing. Was my number 2. Although I don't know how much the other members are doing, she was my number 2. And so this song, the chorus of this song is really fun because it's real. I love this like surfing thing. It's so much fun. The next chorus changes that surfing thing to a slightly different surfing thing. Yeah, so this like surf is like this, and then the final one is like and do a circle of that. I miss this group a lot. They were probably like my number 2 group for a while.
all right, I think that just about does it for our time. I know this is kind of a weird way to present this.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't actually supposed to be on the panel, but
You just have the clips.
I happen to have clips on me, so it's like, oh, okay, why not?
Like I said, I've presented this panel in other formats before, and it's always been very structured, and it just wasn't fun. And so I just thought it'd be more fun to just get up here and talk today. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope you at least learned a little something.
And if you have any questions about anything Underground Idol, feel free to ask me. And if you want extra CDs, there's a lot of them. Please take them. I don't want to have to carry these back to New Jersey. So
I
yeah.
recommend Gang Parade.
Oh, what?
I recommend Gang Parade.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend
Personally,
Gang
I'm gonna
Parade.
take the tape.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna take a tape.
Yeah, I highly recommend Gang Parade. I have a lot of Gang Parade CDs. There's also BIS, which we mentioned Nerve, although Nerve isn't on any of these CDs. There's Bish, who are the biggest whack group. And there's even a group called Billy Idol, which, Billy Idol, it was formed around 2 former BIS members. The group doesn't exist anymore, also. It's one of the unfortunate things about Underground Idol, and not even necessarily Underground Idol, but just Idol in general, is members and groups are transient. Like you never really know when a group is going to just disband out of nowhere, which is always a hard time. But yeah, I mean, Gang Parade themselves don't exist anymore, and I'm depressed about that because they were pretty much like So I had like basically two concurrent #1 groups for the time I lived in Japan. It was Juju, who I'm wearing like this like lanyard is from a Juju one now. And all these like acrylics I have hanging from it are also from Juju. But then my other like #1 group was Gang Parade. And like thankfully I still have Juju, but I no longer have Gang Parade.
All right.
So yeah, that's about it, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening to us.
And again, please take CDs. I really don't